Okay, thank you. I'm so excited. First of all, I love Anna, and to be here with Michael and everybody else. I'm humbled and excited just with this ecosystem we're building around teen mental health. It's a shared sense of purpose, and I feel honored to be a part of this today. Thanks for having BeMe. I'm excited to share together. Right now, BeMe Health in a nutshell is revolutionizing teen mental health. And the reason for that is that we aren't engaging or influencing or reaching teens the way we want to, given everything that's going on in the world. And so if we reimagine this problem from a digital native perspective and think about how do we take a digital first generation and arguably the most diverse generation we've ever known and allow it to collide with the mental health ecosystem. Here's a snapshot of our leadership. In order to set a new direction for teen mental health, we've combined those with deep domain expertise, such as myself, as well as those from other industries. So think about kid privacy, kid safety, tech, engagement brainiacs, gamification, and so forth, so that in order for us to really go after, changing the paradigm from which teen mental health sits, that we borrowed and transcend the talent of the current industry only and stole them away and said, long age problem, for example, for behavioral health has been the experience innovation. So what would it look like if we brought a team to teams together? And a very important part of our team is our teen advisory board. We have 70 teens so far in our teen advisory board that go across the socio demographic profile and are literally sitting next to me building this company every day. And it's been a very important piece to that. And in addition to that, we have a clinical advisory and also an industry advisory board to guide us and inform our decision as we build this company out. This is a real problem statement. Everybody on this phone understands and respects what we're dealing with. The mental health crisis is just unprecedented in terms of suffering and where we're at today. And on top of this is the fact that the solutions are just not able to meet the needs or incompletely meeting the needs. And so us coming together as an industry to say, how can we solve this problem different or better together so that we have an ecosystem thinking to, take care of this population that so badly, desperately needs our help. So BeMe is an app that is offering both a tech as well as a touch solution. We believe that you need a tech level of support as well as a human level of support to help these teens. So as you start from the left, what we have is a clinically informed content that's engaging, that allows for clinically evidence-based treatment. I call it medicine in your honey, so that they can be looking at content that is curated by BeMe, and everything is moderated, monitored, and measured, right? And so as you think about the content, it allows not death scrolling, right? But the opportunity for teens to take in important content that allows them to improve their well-being. And then we take it a step further and we go after care activities. So not just ingesting the content, but think about behavioral activation. So instead of just sitting and looking at videos, now we're asking you to do something with that. And so our care activities that sit on our app is almost like a mini app store that we're continuing to build out day in and day out. And then we get to our human side of coaching. This is asynchronous and synchronous coaching that is provided by human at any time, so that we can offer snack-sized, bite-sized, actionable skills to teens that are in need of support. And then we have a white label partnership to licensed therapy as well as psychiatry, so that for teens that have moderate or severe or hitting that psychiatric criticality, that we are providing these services as well. And underpinning everything is crisis support. We offer 2 different partnerships. So again, white labeled solutions in our app that goes after both phone as well as text, because our teen advisory was very quick to tell us that crisis support cannot just be phone-based. They did want text as well. And so as you see this platform, what we try to do is understand that teens, whether you're sitting in psychiatric criticality, so the moderate and severe needing more intensive services, or teens that maybe are in the medical context but need help coping, or a food insecure teen that requires a level of support over stress, that we're providing more flexible interventions, lower level of intensity, at times interventions, so that we can reach all teens, and that we don't just sit on the defense as an industry anymore, but we go after the offense to be preemptive and to help all the teens, even those that have maybe never hit the behavioral health context, so that we're reaching this important generation. And everything we do from an engagement perspective, which is key to our success, and I'm borrowing from Anna, who said, you got to reach the teens, right? You got to get to them first, is matched with our clinical rigor. We have really important thoughts and bullish about the clinical rigor that's attached to the engagement platform. And so that we address not just what teens need, but also what they like. We really conceptualize mental health as more than the absence of illness. We don't just want them to endure, we want them to flourish. So we are measuring not just the typical clinical validated assessments, think PHQ, think GAD, but we're also thinking about the next generation of outcomes, or what does the next page look like, which allows for personalizing and customizing. I have 2 teen daughters myself who are keeping me honest every day. And they are, and what I find is that it's not enough to just help them confront their struggles, helping them understand themselves, their relationship to themselves, and also ways in which they leverage their strengths. So we're very strength-based. And then this brings out outcome-driven ways, so that we go after the full acuity, whether it's reducing symptomatology such as anxiety or depression, some of the stress that we're talking about that all teens experience, but also help them become their best versions of themselves. And at the end of the day, we will be sitting understanding teen behavior like nobody else ever has. It's very important that we are safe by design. Everything we do, we have risk and tech evaluations done and assessments done that have really put us at a different level. Our chief youth officer is a kid privacy and safety tech expert to make sure that we're doing, looking at laws, not just today, but tomorrow, and doing everything we need. So not just from a clinical perspective, are we safe by design, but from a technology and perspective as well. So one of the features that are important to share is we have an evidence-based safety plan that has been with the top tiered associations to ensure that a teen, when they put in, that they have a coping or a support system built out that they can grab from and enjoy the benefits of their skills they need based on what they're telling us helps them. And this has been a huge, I will say, a feature that even those that are not using coaching or therapy or psychiatry or crisis are actually completing. They're finding it very helpful. And it's beyond what I thought. I thought it would only be guided by those that were being, helped by a coach and so forth, but that has not been the case. And the safety risk management strategy, as you can imagine, figuring out ways with, a teen-centric, mobile-centric, data-centric type of platform so that we can have proactive safety management, the protocols needed, the escalation and decision-making tools so that we can respond in every which way, whether they're in the content part of our app or they are with a live coach or engaging in crisis support intervention. And I'm really proud to tell you that we've had incredible early signs of success. We were launched as a product only in January, our coaching in February, and already we've seen humbly to have hit a nerve and that we seem to be onto something. So our engagement, for example, has been 5 times what other apps in the industry have had. Our content, we have gotten feedback that 82% believe that this has been applicable to their lives. And I love that 89% of our teens feel their coaching and coaches understand their needs. In fact, what I've been surprised about is the number of teens that have used coaching. 25% of teens that are registered users in our app are already using coaching. So it's exceeded what I thought teens would use on the coaching already. We are in 50 states and the registered users are across. So even in a short period of time, it's been exceptional. We do an average coaching rating for all our BeMe coaches, which has consistently been 4 out of 5 stars, about 4.5 out of 5 to be exact. And then the activities that I was telling you, those care activities, that mini app store, we've had over 200,000 completed active activities this far. And so the Teen Advisory Board that I've been speaking about has said we need to keep the app just with teens. So this is an app and a platform that teens use that is their digital companion, right? That digital milieu for them. But that doesn't mean parents do not matter to us, or that we are not really trying to figure out prudently how we can help parents. So there's been several different ways. We have ongoing webinars with some of our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Chowdhury, and Chief Clinical Officer, Dr. Ramo, both world-renowned from the research scientists and the thought leadership space, give webinars to parents so that we can feed them with ways to help deal with different, from loneliness being a huge one to other topics of that they're struggling with today with teens. Certain ways in which we have an online portal for families, for parents, so that we can provide information. As you can tell, we're going to be sitting on teen insights and behavior. We want to be able to feed that back and share with them the learnings and be able to equip them just like we're equipping the teens so that they can help their teens realize that potential. And also some of these thought leadership so that we have, so that over time we can continue to build out our parent offering, our caregiver offering, and really do something that allows for both to help their kid and have that autonomy and competence building in our app, coupled with really being there for the parents and providing them with population reports that would help them understand how these teens are thinking and what we can do better. And, partnerships are everything to me. I say, all the time that, I'm not interested in BeMe just being a standalone offering. I see us as a stitch in the mental health ecosystem. And so some of our partnerships to date really are about how do we plug and play. And you mentioned earlier the idea of kids sitting in EDs, not being able to reach inpatient beds, and all the many touch points and vulnerabilities, whether it's discharge or it's waiting lists or just inaccessibility. And so us trying to be that enabler and being a subspecialty pathway has been an important part of our partnerships as well. And so as we've worked with different partnerships, some of it has been caregiver facilitated and initiated. Others have been through case management, call centers, patient navigators, and so forth, that bring them onto the app, and we can participate with care teams, which we do in some cases. So sometimes, for example, we use digital and coaching, other times it's digital coaching and our therapy and psychiatry service, but it really depends on what each partnership has needed or wanted. And then from a network perspective, again, really hell-bent on being a part of this ecosystem, going after community behavioral health centers, pediatricians, and others that, again, maybe we can reach at different touch points and not just in the behavioral health context. We believe there's a lot of white space and there's a lot of teens. I always worry when people say 20% of teens that need help get help. Yes, but what about all those that we don't know need help that get it? And so And then finally, more general, through social media and some of the other ways where you reach teens, obviously some of the expertise on my team, we've been bullish there as well. Do I have a minute?
I think that's it. If you want to, any last final words before we jump into Q&A?
Yes, last thing is just since launching again, we already have 6 partnerships with national payers. That's all.